Thanks so much, guys, and thank you to the doctor. And while obviously the COVID-19 narrative has a very dark side to it, the past year has also shown us that South Africans have a lot of heart. And founder of Cardiology Greeting Cards, Benita Enoch, goes above and beyond to infuse the spirit of humanity into her cards, as they offer a fantastic range of culturally and linguistically inclusive greeting cards. The company is calling on all South Africans to show the heartbeat of Mzansi as they aim to deliver 20,000 handwritten cards with messages of support for our amazing healthcare workers fighting against the COVID-19 pandemic. And Benita now joins us via video call to share a little bit more about the hashtag Healthcare Heroes Appreciation Drive. We love the sound of all of that. Benita, very good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good. All the better for being able to connect with you this morning. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. As extensive as the range of commercial greeting cards can be, it can also be tricky to find something with that personal touch. So how was the concept of Cardiology Cards born, and what drives your ethos of this cultural and this linguistic inclusivity?
So, friends of mine were celebrating Umabo, and I could only get a westernized card for what's a very popular African tradition. And that experience led to the broader conversation about what happens in society when everyday common products are not available for all cultures and communities. And I always cook when I say this. I decided to fix it, and so I did. And that's been our journey ever since.
I love it. And you are answering a call here. How do you see people tapping into the uniqueness of your cards during the time, especially now, like the month of love?
There is nothing more powerful than receiving a card that reflects your identity and what you believe in and your flair and your lingo, just as you are. And so in the month of love, we have seen people buy our Xhosa cards and write Justin Jay for just being able to celebrate what they have with who they have it. Our same-sex cards have been quite popular, and it should be. In the 21st century, we have to be more inclusive linguistically and culturally.
Completely. And what is amazing to me, we've tapped into the spirit quite a lot in the recent weeks. Clearly, the group consciousness is there. It's also very much focused on the pandemic at the moment, and we've been acutely aware of the devastating impact that the fight against it is having on our healthcare workers who really have not had a break for the better part of a year now. What sparked the idea of the hashtag Healthcare Heroes campaign, and why have you set that target of 20,000, which is quite a target, of those handwritten cards?
Yeah, so look, I'm studying for my second degree in applied psychology, and it's become so evident what the power of recognition does to uplift the human spirit. And right now, our healthcare workers are in dire need of emotional strength. That was the initial idea behind it, just to stand in the gap for healthcare workers as they've stood in the gap for us. But as the days ticked on, we learned that there was a symbiotic value to people and victims, like family members, also participating in this drive, because there was some catharsis there for them. They could take their grief and they could reframe it and learn to draw on the experiences of being connected to strangers who lent a helping hand, or people who stood in the gap for them in their dire moments. And so we see for both the giver and the receiver of these cards, massive amounts of healing. The figure of 20,000, because we thought we're going to reach out to 20,000 of our very cool South African friends, and we're going to ask them to join in with an idea that we think is really has the legs to become an everyday thing. They are not just healthcare workers who sacrifice, they are teachers, and there are police officers and Metro Police and court officials and a lot of public servants who stood in the gap for us. And so we came up with this idea, and it's been growing ever since, and we're very grateful to everybody who's participated.
And we're very grateful to you. I know so many healthcare workers in that coalface, and it's amazing how they say just one small token of appreciation, of understanding that emotional conversation, how much that means to them and re-energizes them. So thank you so much. We're going to proudly drive your campaign from our side as well. And again, say thank you so much for infusing so much of what makes South Africa great and what we've seen the best side of South Africa over the last 9 months. Thank you for being that voice. We really do appreciate you and what you're doing.
Yeah, Graham, we are so bowled over by, the truth of the matter is that I read these messages and they come down and I have to sit with a box of tissues. And a lot of people ask me to draw on that experience of what is it like? What is it actually like to be an observer in someone's most vulnerable, barefooted gratitude? And I often struggle to put it into words, but I do have a letter that came in 2 days ago. And if you want me to just read it out to you, you might be able to have the experience with me.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, great. Okay. I don't know. I hope I make it through. I have wanted to write to you for many months. I saw this campaign and saw it as a sign. You treated my daughter in August. In all my dreams, I could never have imagined having a daughter as loving and witty and loyal. She would WhatsApp me telling me that she asked you for the good oxygen, you know, the one you kept in the back. She spoke of your soothing voice and never letting her take the easy way out of proning. She spoke of your compassion, she spoke of your pain. She spoke about doing something nice for all of you when this was all over. And then suddenly, her light was gone. On one of those days I was gardening, just crying into the soil. I remembered and thought, you must be grieving too. Moms are supposed to take the pain away. We are supposed to make everything better. You swept the hair from her eyes. You held her hand. You stood in for me. She wasn't alone. You were there. I wish I could hug you and cry together with you for what COVID has done. Instead, I pray for you for what beautiful gift you gave my little one.
Oh, Benita,
it's hard to explain that.
Ah, Benita, well, hopefully that fuels you to keep doing what you're doing. We are certainly behind you completely, and we certainly empathize, and we send out all of our love and every muster of energy that we can to the families that are dealing with the darkest side of COVID-19. But thank you for that. We really appreciate you. Unbelievable bravery being shown, I think, is probably the best word to encapsulate that. You can go to cardiologycards.co.za to get more information and also voice your words of love and appreciation.